The NFL season has become a soap opera like no other. Don't believe me? Whether it's Antonio Brown digging his heels in to get freedom from not one, not two, but 3 NFL franchises within a calendar year, or OBJ wanting out of New York without actually saying he wanted out of New York while the angst between him and the Giants grew taller than the Empire State Building, or whether it's Ezekiel Elliott in Cabo while his teammates are reporting for training camp, oh, and while we're on the subject of America's team, or whether it's Dak Prescott wanting to get paid and taken care of long-term by Dallas. Meanwhile, Dallas now has Dak's complicated injury recovery to think about. See, the NFL has more plots and twists than your favorite thriller or drama, and the 2021 season is no different. So today, we're going to look at the latest drama starring Deshaun Watson and his struggle to free himself from the clutches of the Houston Texans. It's hard to think about a situation that's grown as sour as fast as that of Watson and the Houston Texans brass. And today but before we get into the NFL's latest made-for-TV story, do me a favor, click that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed to this channel. All done? All right, on to the video.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, that's a phrase made famous in Ron Howard's Apollo 13, inspired by the real events of a lunar landing with enough problems that Hollywood decided to make a film out of it. Well, Deshaun Watson isn't trying to land on the moon, but if his destination is the Super Bowl, he knows it's time to abandon ship because currently there isn't a franchise. Deshaun Watson was happily signing his $40 million per year contract, and the organization was looking to make right with its underpaid superstar by making him the second highest paid player in the league behind Patrick Mahomes. If we rewind just a few months, this may have been the moment the Texans lost Deshaun Watson. Former head coach and general manager Bill O'Brien had just shipped out Deshaun's favorite target, 3-time Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, for basically peanuts to the Arizona Cardinals. The move raised eyebrows everywhere, but more than shocked was Watson, who said he was hurt by the organization trading its best weapon when they were so close to a Super Bowl run. But when Watson signed his $40 million contract and forgave the Houston Texans, he certainly didn't forget that they did not consult him before trading away one of the team's cornerstones. As we know, the Texans brought in Brandon Cooks and Randall Cobb and were hiring of Bill O'Brien was too little, too late, to light a fire under the team and to get them to the playoffs, and then again, not including Watson in any of the important decisions, including new hires. And you could say the Texans and their indifference toward including Watson in their decision-making, like no other front office do with their franchise quarterbacks, was the straw that broke their own backs when they didn't even interview coaching and front office candidates that Watson liked. The Texans know better than any of the outsiders speculating just how ticked off Watson really is and how bad things have gotten between them. As word of Watson's dismay with Houston has grown, so has his list of suitors. Quarterback-needy teams like the Denver Broncos, the New York Jets, Chicago Bears, San Francisco 49ers, Miami Dolphins, and the Carolina Panthers have come out and expressed their interest in Watson. Many people speculate Deshaun chose the destinations on his list because they gave him the best chance of winning. So that rules out the Jets, but you can make a case for Deshaun's other suitors that they are win-now opportunities. News has surfaced on one of Watson's main criteria, and that's for the Texans to be properly compensated. And for the Texans, compensated means that the team should include starters on defense and offense, along with a package of high-round picks that includes at least 2 first-rounders. Now, the suitor that appears most poised to make a play on Watson and checks all of these boxes, especially the one that makes them serious Super Bowl contenders, and that trade destination is the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins own 2 first-round picks in the upcoming draft and have cap space to burn, as well as plenty of movable pieces on both sides of the ball that could be shipped to the Texans in a package for Watson. The current benchmark for a quarterback in today's market is the Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford trade that sent Stafford to the Rams for Jared Goff. A 2021 third, a 2022 first, and a 2023 first. If that were the floor for the Deshaun Watson trade, as many predict, then the Dolphins could certainly up the ante from what the Lions offered the Rams by giving the Dolphins a promising first-round pick in Tua, at least one 2021 pick, And if they were able to bargain and deal away just one of their first rounders this year, they could include a first round pick in 2022 and a 2022 second that outpaces the third rounder the Rams offered the Lions. As far as defensive starters go, they could dangle 27-year-old starting defensive end and outside linebacker Emmanuel Ogbah, who accounted for 9 sacks last year, or 28-year-old cornerback Byron Jones, who was very solid opposite of standout Xavier Howard. A package with either of those defensive players plus Tua and the draft pick haul should be more than enough to make the Texans come to the bargaining table. As we know, the Dolphins are already one of the teams Watson is open to. Let's also not forget that the trade lines are obviously open between the two teams who made a blockbuster deal in 2019 for Dolphins left tackle Laramie Tunsil. Add in the fact that they're $31 million under the cap, and it's no wonder many feel this deal is imminent. So, we know the Dolphins can afford Deshaun Watson, but what would getting Deshaun Watson actually mean to the Dolphins? Well, on offense, we already know the Dolphins are able to score points, after their offense ranked 11th in that category last year, with stars like wideout Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, and healthy Preston Williams. So the addition of Watson takes this unit from good to deadly. The Dolphins' offensive line isn't great, but it's an improving unit that could be a formidable one after this season with an addition or two. The unit would still be an improvement for what Watson's been used to at the Texans. His line usually finished toward the bottom of the league. So Watson, who has been to the playoffs twice and has a playoff win, would instantly make the Dolphins Super Bowl contenders. Review: Deshaun Watson would become arguably the best quarterback in the division, although Allen's MVP caliber season is sure to have earned him his fair share of backers in this argument. But the Dolphins instantly become one of the most dangerous teams and desirable free agent destinations, making them early Super Bowl favorites. Deshaun only counts $15.9 million against the cap in 2021, and with the recent release of Kyle Van Noy and other players that will be trimmed leading up to the offseason activities, the Dolphins could make a couple of splashes in free agency and put this team in best in the conference conversation and set themselves up for years to come. And hey, it's for both franchises. So that does it for our time on Deshaun Watson and his presumed trade to the Miami Dolphins. As soon as this news breaks, the web may break too, because a splash like this to a 10-6 team is sure to have anyone with an opinion giving theirs about what this means for a franchise that was on the doorstep of the playoffs a season ago. We'd sure like to hear your thoughts on Deshaun's new team and what this would mean for the NFL, and if that would reshuffle the power at the top of the AFC East. If you haven't done so already, do me a favor, hit that subscribe to stay up to date on more stories like this one and some of the best sports content on the web. Until next time, sports fans, take care.